Hi, this is Alistair from Abandoned Scotland, and today I'm going to give Mark a wee break from his usual commentary videos. I'm going to concentrate on the Kelvingrove train tunnel, which runs under the west end of Glasgow. First up, a few facts for you. The tunnel is about 950 yards long, and it runs from underneath Gibson Street in the west end, and it connects to the live line at the exhibition centre. The tunnel opened in 1896 and it closed in 1964 under the Beeching cuts, which notoriously cut so many railway lines across Britain. Now, the train tunnel has also been used as a river at one point, unusually. That was because in 1994 Glasgow was hit by really bad rainfall and the River Kelvin broke its banks. The northern portal of the tunnel is right next to the River Kelvin, and basically all the excess water from the breach ran down the tunnel and flooded the low-level train service which goes through Glasgow Central. That was closed for several months, and there are a few pictures about. If you have a wee Google for them, you can see how deep water actually was down there. The video gives a really good indication of just how dark it is within the tunnel once you're so far in, and because the tunnel has a slight curve to it, you can't see either end of the tunnel, and the light sources from those ends, they don't light up the internal parts at all, and you have to rely on your torches in order to be able to see. Because it is so dark, what we have to do in order to get our photographs is to do long exposures and light painting, which means we set up the camera on a tripod and we start an exposure off. Now, the exposure may last for 2 or 3 minutes or even longer, just depending on how much we want to light up within the tunnel. And as you can see in the video here, this is us basically doing our shot, which you'll be able to see in the corner here in a second. What we have to do is stand very still for quite a few minutes and wave the torches about, have a bit of a carry on, and it looks like a bit of a disco. That basically lights up all the walls, and it means you can see all the detail and all the colours that you do in the photograph below. Now, the tunnel isn't one long continuous tunnel, it's actually split up into about 3 tunnels. The first one being the longest, which is several hundred yards long. After that, there's 2 subsequent smaller ones, which are very, very short and are pretty much bridges. However, after the first tunnel, the open area is actually flooded and you can't get past without waders. Now, we only had wellies with us, and we did give it a bash, but the water level was quickly rising and we would have come out probably about at least waist deep in water. Now, we'd been down abandoned train tunnels before. The very first time was well over a year ago now, and long before we started the Abandoned Scotland community. We ventured down to see the old Botanic Gardens train station, which is actually further along this same line. If you do want to have a wee look at that, explore, we'll put a wee link on screen. Just give it a wee click and it'll take you to it. These old rail tunnels are really quite different from other abandoned places that we usually go to, which is mainly just due to how quiet and how dark they are. Considering where you generally are, you get a city right above your heads and you can't hear any of it at all really. And just with regards to the darkness, you generally don't get that darkness unless you're away out in the countryside where there's absolutely no light sources whatsoever. You do generally find some quite odd things in tunnels, so we certainly weren't expecting to find 2 IKEA potting chairs and a table with a couple of disposable barbecues perched right the way inside the tunnel. It was quite unusual to see this, and somebody clearly using the spot as a wee kind of get away from it all and relaxing place. Now, just before we finish up, I just want to give a wee thanks to Teensy for her help and inspiration when it came to making her own video. If you do want to have a look at any of her work, we'll put a wee link on screen for you. Now, if anybody does have any questions about long exposure photography and light painting in particular, if you want to leave us a wee comment below, or even send us an email, we'll try and answer as many questions as we can. Thanks again for watching one of our commentary videos. This is my first one, hopefully it won't be my last one. I'll have a wee read at your comments, see what you all think, and keep checking back. We'll hopefully have another commentary video up for you soon.